All right.
Are you sounding good?
I think so.
Are we
Yeah.
gonna get into it?
First time getting like this professional of a production here. All right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We're pretty pro over here. Yeah, bro. Sit back, enjoy yourself. Welcome to the Ted Jones World Podcast. Kevin, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. I'm good. It's getting cold as shit today,
Dude,
but
it's a you know what? But I'm honestly blessed that the heat is working today. We had a couple days where it was just insanely brick. I had to wear like 2 pairs of sweatpants, 2 shirts, 2 sweatshirts. But now look, I got the window open to the trash chute area, and it's just like the perfect amount of breeze. I could smoke a little nugget in here and then air it out.
Nice.
Did you smell the hint of weed in here a little bit?
a little bit.
Damn.
It's not too bad though.
Okay. Because like usually I'll go like 3 hours before the podcast and not smoke.
Yeah.
So like this was one of those times. So I figured I would have aired out by now. But smelling it a little bit.
Sure, not too bad. It's
good.
fine.
It's like your typical bro apartment where there's a little stench.
It's like not like you smoked. It's like there is weed, maybe
in the apartment.
Yeah.
Okay,
but like
good.
you left it
I'm
out.
happy you're not a cop. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I left it out last night.
Right.
So what's up, Kevin? Good to see you, bro.
Yeah,
you and
too,
I
man.
have not spoken that much, but you hang out with cool dudes. So I imagine you're a cool dude yourself, bro.
Well, I just like that the last time we were together. Well, we've seen each other around a little bit, but the last time we were really together was that show at Sesh Comedy where my ex-girlfriend was in the crowd.
Oh,
no And then you posted that clip.
She was in the front row?
Yeah. She was the one who what did she do? She was eating tuna at Panera Bread.
Oh my God. That clip did pretty well for us. That was funny. That's hilarious, dude. But yeah, so Kevin, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, I'll pop up the clip right here so you guys know what we're talking about. Does anybody in here ever have that tuna fish sandwich though from Panera Bread? Anyone? Guilty pleasure? Everybody has that tuna fish phase. Raise a little roof. You? Do you like spicy tuna rolls or you like actual tuna sandwiches? Really? Okay, nice. So what do you think like tuna is really made of? Do you have like any idea? Yeah. There is no tuna DNA in the Subway or Panera Bread tuna fish sandwiches. You heard this? And you still don't care? Savage! Let's go! It's fresh. Amazing. Cool. That's fresh. Cool. Wait, these girls are cute. Kevin, they with you, bro, or are they single or what? What's up? Hello! As I said, everybody does go through that tuna fish phase, man.
Right.
You know, everybody has a year or 2 or 3 where they just enjoy the tuna on an extreme level.
Yeah, I'm not big into tuna like that.
You never got into it?
Especially, I wouldn't do it at Panera Bread. I don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a time, though, where people were just like, okay, we can eat whatever from wherever. Especially like that Subway phase when Jared Fogle was like a big face in there.
Yeah.
You get that tuna sub.
Sure, you would ignore that like the meat was all like metallic looking.
Yeah, dude.
On the
like,
stuff.
I mean, there were years, like, so I played college tennis and like that was our go-to lunch anytime we were on the road, like day trips. We would we would go to Subway sometimes like twice a day during a trip, like for lunch, and then we get a big sub like for dinner just because it was so cheap.
Where'd you play?
I played at UConn.
Oh, nice. All right, so you're like a real athlete.
It's funny that people say that all the time. So the thing was with UConn tennis, it was like it had such a good reputation just because of the men and the women's team for basketball, and then like soccer, baseball. We were always like a top 3 team in the country. So like me going to play tennis at UConn, I kind of had other offers, but I just wanted to go to the place with the most notoriety sports-wise. So like our tennis team, the only reason we were really even there is because we kept the athletic GPA higher than some of the other teams. So as soon as COVID hit, that the team got shut down.
Oh, there's no program anymore.
But that was like a few years after I left.
Okay, all right.
So I played for 2.5 years.
How were you? How were you guys? Like
we were probably, you can consider us probably around like 50 or 60 in the country.
Okay.
So never really ever approaching the top 25. And it's so different than other sports like a football where, you know, you can like grind it out and like beat the tough team. But like in tennis, it's just like 4 out of the 6 singles teams have to win. Yeah. It's just like, you can't hit 10 forehands in a row better than a guy who's going to hit, you know, whatever it is.
Sure. Yeah. No, I played college golf, so somewhat similar, but not at UConn.
But dude, that was the same situation at UConn, though. Like the golf team kept the grades up of the athletic program, so I think they actually did get cut.
Yeah.
As well. So where'd you play golf?
Franklin and Marshall. It's
okay, in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Over by the Amish there.
Sure, dude. I had a period of time, probably like sophomore and junior year where I just got super obsessed with colleges. Like I would know every college. I had like that big college book. I would go online, check the rankings all the time. But they had a good baseball team too, right? You guys are solid baseball for D3?
Maybe. Yeah, I mean, we were pretty solid for D3. We were like top, not that nobody gives a shit about what we're talking about right now, but we were like top 12 at a certain time.
Oh, wow.
There. Yeah. But, you know, I don't know.
So did you grow up in Pennsylvania?
No. Grew up in Brooklyn. Yeah,
okay.
Born and raised here.
Where'd you go to high school?
Poly Prep.
Oh, no way, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, so like
famous for kid touching.
Oh,
there.
really?
They had like Penn State, like exact same as like Penn State type.
Did you go
scandal.
to the high school at the same time?
No. It happened. It happened, I think, in like the 80s, 90s, and they covered it up for like 20 years. And then while I was there was when they were getting like fucked in court for it. It like all like came out.
Did this put a bad reputation on the school recently?
Yeah. Yeah,
because bro, I swear I have not heard the name of that school in years, and I do know a lot of kids because it was in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
and it was one of really the only schools in the New York City area besides like Riverdale and Fieldson that had a football team. Yeah. Just because you guys had like a huge campus.
Yeah.
So talk a little bit about your high school experience.
Man.
And then did you go to middle school there too?
I did. Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, I mean it's funny now. Anytime Poly Prep comes up in the news, it's just horrible. Like recently there was a kid, I knew him, he was 2 years older than me, normal kind of like stoner kid, like had friends and stuff. Recently he killed his mother and then jumped out of his window to kill himself, beat her with like a fucking lamp. And then this happened like 3 months ago. I knew the kid. I used to like play basketball with him.
Did he go to college, that kid?
Yeah, I think so. I don't remember where, but also his dad was like a retired like New York City judge. Like it was like I guess a normal family. Kids doing blackface all the time. Like little
just straight up in the hallway. What do you mean doing blackface?
There was like I think twice there was girls like caught doing blackface and it made the news.
Caught?
You know?
This is like recently?
Within the last couple of years.
Right, because like blackface back like when you and I were going to high school, like it was chill. Like nobody gave a shit.
Yeah.
Now it's just like everything is resurfacing.
Now it's like a sombrero will get you fucked, you know?
Yeah, dude. But the student body at Poly Prep was pretty diverse, right? Because you guys had a lot of athletes that would go on to play like basketball, football, and even like professional athletes.
Yeah, no. There was a kid recently. He was drafted by the Titans in the first round.
Oh wow.
Got a bunch of DUIs, and I don't know if he's playing anymore. But no, there was I think like an alumni that would just leave a blank check for like football scholarships, so they could just delve out as many as possible. And we always had like a really good team. Some kids in there that were like 15 years old, but had biceps bigger than our quads combined.
It's crazy to see the size of some of these kids these days. You see that 12-year-old football player the other day with that mustache. He's like 6'3", 225 pounds. I don't know. I'll pop him up right here.
Yeah.
This kid literally with a fat gut. He looks like he's 25 years old with a mustache. But kids these days, man, I mean, everyone's just getting so much bigger. And that's that was one of the main reasons I think my parents were potentially looking at sending me to Poly Prep just because like the tennis kind of environment and the sports atmosphere. The tennis
coach there, he, I'm pretty sure he got caught sleeping with one of the students. Not even kidding, like a girl, like a sophomore or whatever.
Oh my
god,
that's dirty.
Oh no,
I was gonna say like my parents didn't want me to play football.
So
I only played during recess, bro.
Yeah.
Did you play anything else besides golf? On a lighter Poly Prep note, Jesus.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else, but it really never ends. I mean, when I was there, a kid like overdosed and died. Yeah.
It wasn't on the trendy fentanyl, though.
No. He was a loser. It was like Xanax or something. It's horrible.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, man.
Like, when we went to school, how old are you, by the way, bro?
24.
8 to 10 years ago, there was just a lot less distractions now with the social media, and people were, like, focused on their high school relationships. Now it just seems like kids are getting bad ideas and good ideas from social media all over the place.
Yeah, man. I forget what clip it was I saw, but it was, a bunch of like pseudo psychologists talking to each other. And they were just talking about how like 20-year-olds, they look up to, or not 20-year-olds, like middle school kids look up to these 20-year-olds on like Twitch with like all this money and fame for like
Aiden Ross.
Yeah. Even though I love watching that
Dude,
shit.
I fucking love it too. I just recently started watching
him and Tate.
Dude, oh, God. I'm so happy you mentioned that, dude. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Andrew Tate, which I'm sure you guys do know, and like, yes, he at times says extraordinarily misogynistic things that I don't agree with.
But he's also right about everything.
But there also are moments when he is extremely articulate and can talk to a man or a guy, a young boy who's going through struggle or a tough time in his life, and he will put the fire under your butt to go work out, be the best version of yourself, focus on doing you, then the girls will come. These distractions in the current moment are not great, whatever. But he also says misogynistic things, and that's what gets him in hot water. So Andrew Tate is 36 years old. This guy, the streamer who we're talking about, Aiden Ross, is like a 22-year-old kid who has amassed, I think, millions of followers on the Twitch stream. For those of you who don't know what Twitch is, this kid will just go on, play video games, talk to his chat for 8 hours a day. Right. So Tate is trying to get this kid, Aiden Ross, to start working out, start actually like giving a shit about his life outside of like the internet and whatever. And their interactions are hilarious.
Because Aiden Ross, he really plays into like, I'm this like feeble, like beta male kind of guy. And I did you see the video where he like tries to do like 30 push-ups in front of Tate?
He's like this. He's like this. And then Andrew Tate was like, dude, Aiden, the next time I see you, your head better be shaved. Yeah. And then he came back on FaceTime, and then Aiden had a ball cap on. Yeah, dude. Their stream, when he was like in a robe, when Andrew Tate was in a robe, that was so funny, dude. Like I watch it at 1.25 speed and like just cannot keep my eyes off the screen, dude.
I mean, so he had a stream with Corinna Kopf. She left to go to the bathroom, and Aiden Ross like sniffed her chair where she was sitting when she was gone. And then when Tate left the stream that day, he also sniffed his chair.
Yeah, I didn't see that. That's hilarious. I guess I did. And then they were like arm wrestling and shit like that.
Yeah.
How'd you get connected with a guy like Matt McGloin, and then also Omar has been on the podcast, and then Zuri as well. So we had the whole Prohibition squad at one time.
We all met in the same place. We met at Eastville Comedy Club, like right when it was after the first COVID summer. So like Eastville was like the only indoor place.
One on Atlantic Avenue in Brooklyn.
Yeah. And you know, because it was all just like outdoor park open mics, and Eastville was the only like place like breaking the rules, like doing that. So we met at a nice quality Laughing Buddha open mic. You know, it was great. I mean, I met them all kind of in the span of like a couple weeks, and we kind of just, I guess, hit it off from there. But I'm trying to think of anything crazy. Not really. You know?
Well, you guys have had some great shows.
Yeah, man. Yeah. We just, I don't know. At one point, we all were like, I feel like a lot of independent shows or produced shows came out during, you know, right when COVID hit and things were starting to open up, but they were taking a really long time. People kind of just took it into their own hands. So like our first show that the four of us produced together, we just like rented out a photography studio in the city from this like crazy Russian dude named Yoni. And he didn't care. He was like, whatever, do whatever you want. It was just a big space. And we had our first show there. But I don't know. Yeah, I think we were all kind of similar in that sense. It's like, let's just go out and figure out, you know, what we got to do.
And it seems like you guys don't really have like a set home space, which is like a beautiful thing about a show, you know, not really having like that place that you're always at. It's kind of like ever so changing, you know, which is dope.
Yeah. No, I mean, because we were doing a weekly at this bar called Factory 380.
Oh, that's where I first met you. I came to one of those shows.
Right.
I think that particular show you were saying was not as great as the other shows.
Yeah, it was always really.
I mean, it's just hit and miss. It was everybody in the comedy game knows.
Sure. But that was a real shit show. Omar was hosting, just making fun of people. But yeah, no. So we were doing a weekly there for like a year. And love those guys over there. You know, great like bar to like have fun at. Comedy was kind of hit or miss, but you know, just doing that weekly, it was like it became like a job. You know, I was like, this is it. So that's why it's good to bounce around to different venues, at least for us, like mentally. You know, it doesn't feel like we're clocking in. It's just like, all right, we're bouncing around like a band almost.
And did you feel like there was a real difference between that bar show at Factory 380 versus like some of the bigger shows that you'll do at Gotham or other venues like that? For
sure. I mean, just in general with comedy, like when people feel like they're in a performance venue, they're more likely to just act accordingly. Whereas like Factory, I mean, there were some good shows, but I think just bars, distractions, like next, in the next room, there's a TV going with like a Yankees like playoff game. It's like, how fucking attentive are you like really going to be? So, it was good to, as they say, I don't know, is making your bones the right word? I've been hearing that a lot lately from people. Oh, that
Making
room's
your bones?
That room's really tough. It really made my bones over there. It's like,
It
all
builds
right.
character, bro. Well, that's also, that's the, you were talking about starting the show during the pandemic. That's when everybody was freaking making their bones too, bro. Doing
Right.
outdoor comedy. I don't know if you were doing Zoom shows. I never really got into that too much.
I didn't do any of that.
Yeah.
I was doing the outdoor park stuff.
So
Yeah.
what did your life kind of look like between, I guess, you graduating from F&M, Franklin and Marshall, as
Right.
they say, right? And then coming back to New York, and then really COVID kind of just freaking hit. Right?
Graduated. It like ruined my last semester. So like everybody just like went home.
Damn.
We didn't like have a graduation or anything.
So it was like you came back from winter break, probably like January 2020, and then like 6 weeks later, you got sent home?
More like, it was back. Yeah, January came back. And then I guess COVID was like March.
Yeah, like
so March
15th.
hit. It all happened so fast.
And you were graduating that May.
Yeah, that May. Yeah, so all of that just didn't happen. And then came back, kind of just like, hung out with friends and drank all summer. Weird summer, doing nothing, bumming around, and then got into stand up and stuff. But
Did you play 4 years of baseball at Franklin Marshall?
golf.
Excuse me, golf.
I quit my junior year.
That's like me too, bro.
I had beef with my coach.
Tennis. You beef with your coach?
Yeah.
What happened?
Oh man. It was one of those things where a few kids got in trouble. He was kicking off 2 kids that I really liked.
For what? Like drinking?
Yeah, nothing crazy. And then there was another kid who had a history of getting in trouble, but was also in trouble with them. Was a really good player, and our coach was going to kick the other 2 off, but not them.
Wait, what did they do?
I don't remember. It was dumb college shit, like underage drinking, and then like noise complaint on top of that.
Like the 24-hour rule or the 48-hour rule.
Yeah,
stuff like that. You don't drink 48 hours before a match. I'm sure every college coach
right.
implements that.
I never broke that.
Yeah,
of
good
course
dude.
not. Yeah. But so there was just that, and then I was sticking up for him, and then he was an old guy, short fuse. Then he just started going off on me, and I actually like. I would do stuff like that, but I was good at hiding it. So I never got in trouble, and he was coming at me, and I was just like, you're making this really personal right now. And then before you know it, we're in a team meeting, and we're screaming curses at each other. And
you and him, or like the team and him?
No, me and him in front of the team. Yeah, and it was one of those things where...
What was the kind of shit that you were saying, though? You're like, you don't even know how to fucking coach. Think you can lead these group of men?
I was like, you old
You ain't
cunt,
shit.
shut up. No. It was... no, I was just like, I've never, missed a fucking practice, like all this stuff. And I don't know. It was... I don't really have anything personal to say against him. But... yeah, it was just, he was snapping and I was snapping, and then I quit for a year or a semester or 2, and then he was like, I'm sorry, you want to come back? And I was like, yeah, I got to make my parents proud or some shit. So I was also, this is not a brag at all, it's embarrassing at this point, but I was in a fraternity, I was the president of my fraternity. We got kicked off for hazing while I was the president, and I was worried I was going to like get kicked out of school.
Did that get you in trouble with the law, by the way?
They like threatened that, but thankfully like nobody got hurt or anything. So
it was just like drinking stuff.
Yeah, well, actually not really. It's more just like not gay either, but like when I say physical, like not like paddling or anything like that. It was physical, like push-ups, like
flicking his nips, push-ups. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean maybe a little bit of that.
Dude, so I knew a kid who was on the tennis team at, this is crazy, I won't mention his name, but he was on the tennis team at Cornell.
Okay.
And he was also in a frat, and it was like reverse hazing night. So he was a sophomore, and they were hazing he was a freshman, and they were hazing the sophomores.
Okay.
And they ended up like tying a kid to the tree, like 4 kids, and just kept feeding him alcohol, and he died.
Oh,
Dude, so he ended up going to Michigan.
That's
this
no
was a
good.
Kid he was very dope at tennis. Was like a high recruit to Cornell. I used to play tennis with this kid all the time.
Yeah.
And then just had a crazy hazing situation story like that. Man.
Brutal.
Hazing is nuts, and like it just really seems like it's not slowing down at all. Like obviously, like when you get to campus, and I'm sure there are all these meetings with the frats, and it doesn't really happen with sororities, right? That type of
because they don't host parties.
Yeah,
so they just like drink all of our booze. You know?
Well, what do you mean? Like, why would hosting parties have anything to do with it? Is that typically when like the camaraderie and the rah begins around?
Okay. I guess I thought you more meant like crazy drinking. I guess like hazing. No, yeah, because they're not. Girls like don't really get off on that stuff like guys do. Honestly, girl hazing stories are actually way funnier than guy hazing stories. Like I hear like naked on a like a laundry machine that's like on and vibrating, and then with a Sharpie they'll like circle all your like jiggling like fat anywhere where you have like a layer of fat. They like circle it with a Sharpie.
Oh, that's fucking evil.
It's hilarious.
It's pretty funny.
It's so funny. Oh man,
it's also like the guys and like the alpha type. Like, well, I can drink more than you. Keep drinking.
Right. On. It's so like that stuff's so stupid.
Well, so what happened with the hazing situation? The kid just like woke up hungover, or did he have to go to the hospital?
No. All right. So like, I think they saw something on a camera outside of our house. Someone doing something stupid.
What, like another house close by had like a CCTV or something?
I think because we were like pretty on campus. Yeah, so like I guess it was like a public safety camera. So they were checking it for something else that happened. And then they saw like some kid doing something. They're like, what the fuck is this? So like they looked into
on
it.
all fours walking.
Yeah, I think,
elephant walk.
I think it was something where he like sprayed ketchup and mustard and like condiments all over himself, and then like ran into our house. Not something we told him to do. I think it was just something that I don't know. Yeah, it's too long of a story to get into. But so that happened. They, I guess, were looking into some other stuff. And then one day I was out at dinner. I'm getting calls. I'm at this place called Moe's.
Is that like the fancy place on campus?
No. Moe's. It's like a kind of Chipotle type. Like,
oh, bro, we had Moe's at UConn.
Okay, yeah,
Welcome to Moe's.
Right.
Yeah, burritos and shit.
Yeah,
I don't know why they don't have. I think some of them like closed down in the city because they used to have like a good amount of them. Like First Avenue.
I feel like now it's like
Park.
Dos Toros has like replaced them.
Yeah.
But I was there. I was getting a crunch wrap, and people were
dude.
They had big crunch wraps.
Fatty freaking crunch wraps, like full saucers.
Yeah.
Like freaking like.
Oh, so good. So I'm ordering that. I'm getting all these calls. I'm like, fuck off. Leave me alone. Cause like, it's always something, right? Like when because as like president of a fraternity, everybody thinks you're just the biggest douche, right? But you're more just like the dad. Like you're taking care of everything.
Who are you dealing with the most on like a day-to-day basis? Just like other frat members, like in the group chat, or like people who are funding your frat? What does that look like?
All that, man. I mean, like old alumni who like are like, hey, why is this part of the house like broken?
Well, do they have people like come by like once a week?
Yeah. There was one person who would like kind of oversee the thing, like guy that lived in the area. So, dealing with that, dealing with the school, and then just dealing with kids. Like, why is, I don't know. When something, just anytime anything went wrong, it was like all on me. So, I'm getting all these calls. They're like, hey, you got to get back here. I'm like, why? And they're telling me that like public safety and this guy who like oversees the fraternities, like as a part of the school, they're banging on the front door, demanding to be let in, saying they have like, it was this guy who like watched too much Law and Order. So he like thought he was like really breaking down on some crime. So he had this like fake paper in his hand, like acting like it was a warrant.
This is like a previous frat member or previous like.
No. Like he, like what his title at the school was like director of fraternity and sorority life. So really just making sure like nobody was dying and just being like a huge narc. Okay. But so he like came to the door with like two public safety officers. Were like, you need to like let us in. We have a cease and desist order or something. And they shouldn't have let him in, but like you're nervous. You're a kid.
This fucking happened to me too.
Yeah. So they let him in. They busted down and they like they were pledges in the house, not doing anything crazy, but they like, we had to do this thing where we'd have to wear like uniforms, right? So we'd all have to wear like a blue polo and like khakis, like it was like a uniform thing. It was kind of like military type stuff.
Finance type.
Yeah, right. And so, they found that, some other stuff. They all brought them in for questioning, and they grilled these kids for like 3 hours. And
how many kids?
I think it was like 7.
Where did they bring them though?
like some office, like
not
in
the
school.
police fucking office.
No,
right?
no, not the police office.
This just seems like such a
But they
big
just-
scam in terms of like the whole police thing. This sounds like something officers are doing right now.
Yeah,
which
no,
they were
no,
not
no.
at
They
all.
were like I said, the guy watched too much Law and Order. He thought he was fucking Christopher Maloney, from SVU. So yeah, questions all these kids. One of them like really flipped, and then I think once they come in, old cop trick, like, hey, he ratted on all you guys, like, you better get ahead on this. I think some of them tried to be like, yeah, they hazed us, but like we were totally okay with it, which doesn't matter at all. Like, it's still like criminal.
If you mention hazing.
Right. It still happened. It's like, yeah. So that happened. I'm sitting there on a couch. I get back while they're like searching the house and rummaging through stuff. And the public safety officers like sit on the couch, and I'm just sitting there, and I have this Moe's that I brought back, and I was like, fuck, if I'm going to prison for the night, like I gotta have a full stomach. So I asked the officer, I'm like, hey, I got that Moe's, like I left it in my room. Can I go get it? He's like, yeah, sure. So I'm trying to nervously eat this Moe's and like look calm and not guilty, but I can't like put it down. I'm like, oh God, what's gonna happen? So yeah, that was interesting. And then like the whole semester, they were just doing an investigation, and like I was worried like I was gonna get like kicked out of school.
But when they came,
everything worked out.
Yeah, but when they came into the house, were they threatening to take anyone to jail or something like that?
No, they were just like, after they left, they had all the kids, like all the pledges, like walk with them to the office where they were gonna get grilled. And then they told me and the pledge master, they were like, hey, we're gonna conduct an investigation. Like, you're not allowed to talk to them, the pledges.
Damn, so they took this pretty seriously.
Oh, they took it real seriously.
And I think this is how like a lot of colleges are now saying that they will respond to situations like this.
Yeah. And they always like, threaten the criminal element, which scares everybody. But
Right.
I kind of knew that wasn't gonna be the case.
Sure.
My biggest fear was just getting like kicked out of school.
And I would think that, like on top of the criminal element, like somebody who's on scholarship and they're gonna get their scholarship taken away, or maybe their parents paid and they're gonna have $50,000 just taken out of their parents' pocket, not even going to that last year of school. So while you're getting adjusted here, I was talking about the situation where cops actually came to my dorm room. My roommate and I were smoking out of like a vape, and they put like a big pink sign or something through the hole so we couldn't see. They were like, oh, like campus security, like let us in. And just because I was scared or whatever, we'd let them in. And then looking back on it, that's the last thing you do. You never let anybody into your apartment or house. Right. You don't say shit. Doesn't matter who they are.
Think about all those like cop shows we watched as kids, right? Where it's like, do you have a warrant? Like, no, get the fuck out of here.
Wait, but also, did they find like weed or underage, like open alcohol that got you in trouble? Like when they were rummaging through everything.
They probably found some booze, but like majority of the kids that lived in the house were over 21.
But no, you didn't find it. There was no weed, no cocaine.
Thank God.
That's crazy. How many dudes lived in the house? And there was no Nugget?
17.
What? And not one had weed?
Or
maybe, not that they found.
I think maybe
like one kid wasn't like, oh my God,
because I think while all the commotion was happening,
where the kid just smoked it.
Yeah, just smoked all of it. Or it's like Goodfellas.
Super Troopers.
They flush it down the toilet.
Yeah.
That was all the money we had, Karen.
Down the toilet, Karen. You're gonna ruin me.
Oh man. Yeah, and then I think there were a couple doors they couldn't get open. So like if kids' rooms.
Right.
So if they were a step away from like kicking doors down. So like if it was locked, but it like was like a bad lock and all you needed was like a hard pull and a nudge, they would open it.
Which seems to be a lot of doors like that at frat houses.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, like doors would get broken. Someone was like, a kid who knew how to use a fucking hammer. Yeah. Right. Sure. So, thankfully, no, they didn't find any drugs, but we had to like cop to everything. So, I had to say, I would be like, there were times where we had like cocaine in the house and stuff like that.
Why did you say that?
It was one of those things where our like the old alumni of our fraternity that were like still involved, they were like, hey, we don't want anybody to like get kicked out of school, just like cooperate and like they'll take it easy on you.
So they would like ask you questions. Has there ever been cocaine done in the house?
Yeah, I was like testifying before Congress.
Simple fucking questions. Because if they ask 16 other kids, like no way, all of them are gonna lie.
Right?
Like, no, there's never been. Like chances are probably one of them.
Sure.
That's like Young Thug and Gunna right now, man. I don't know how much you're following that case.
No.
Yeah, bro. Gunna just like ratted on Young Thug and Wild.
Okay.
So like now 6ix9ine is coming back into the picture. He's like, yo, Gunna was boys with Young Thug. He's the real rat. So I don't know, but
no. Hey, another person ratting is the FTX stuff.
Sam Bankman-Fried, yeah.
His wife she pleaded guilty and now she's cooperating and is going to testify.
Well, his girlfriend, right?
His girlfriend, but she's going to testify.
I know. I mean, bro, she would probably go to jail for the rest of her life if she didn't.
Yeah.
It's such a slippery slope like that. She's not hot.
Oh.
I know, and you figure like he was, I don't know who he was sleeping with down there. Imagine her, and then like, it was probably weird.
Well, I heard
fucking situation.
I heard like orgies, like they were all
like
banging each
there
other.
were like 10 of them in the house in the suite. Crazy situation, man. You get into crypto at all?
No,
recently?
not at all.
Yeah, bro. I bought some Bitcoin back at like 50K.
How'd you do?
No, I mean, I'm not doing so well now. Down like cool 80%. And it's funny, like last year at this time, I was talking about crypto. I was like, you guys got to watch the numbers. And I'm like, I hope nobody took that advice.
Yeah.
But I believe in it long term, bro. I think that like, ultimately with like this fucking paper cash, everything's going digital.
The Trump
as well.
trading cards, those are going to be huge.
Yeah,
right?
we'll see, dude. We'll see. Freaking dude, Donnie T. I watched some QAnon thing right before you came over.
Oh yeah,
it's just like about reptilian shit. There's this kid that's coming out with something on HBO Max December 30th.
Oh, okay.
What would you get so excited
Well,
for?
so there was a QAnon documentary that like a lot of people saw that came out maybe within the last year. And anytime I was like, hey, I just saw this QAnon documentary, people are like, oh yeah, I know the one that was on, HBO or whatever. And I go, no, I like watched like a documentary produced by QAnon.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
Where'd you find that?
So I saw this video on TikTok and then it just leads you somewhere.
To the dark web.
Yeah. It was like, it was about like pedophiles in Hollywood. So I was like
the tunnels, right? And stuff like that to Epstein Island.
I a little bit of that and just like, Tom Hanks is dead now. Michelle Obama's man. Like this person's a pedophile. Like it was all these crazy conspiracy theories.
Did any of them have any merit?
Not actually, but like when you watch the documentary, you kind of start to buy the shit, You start to get into it a little bit and then you kind of have to slap yourself and wake up and be like, that there's just too many loose ends there and stuff where like they're citing something, like citing a source, and it probably doesn't exist.
Yeah. So in this documentary, it's end of the month, December, HBO Max. It's called like This Place Is Amazing, I believe. So this kid, he starts out, watch like a 3-minute preview. He's interviewing these like 8-year-old kids whose parents are huge QAnon believers, and this kid's just spewing facts. He's like, well, when the reptilian pedophiles like Bill Clinton and Obama like started to eat the children, just crazy things like this. That like, if they were true, I don't know. We haven't been paying close enough attention to you and I.
Yeah. Well, okay. So I do believe there were like the Epstein stuff. When you think about them using him as a tool to put famous, powerful people in like compromising situations to then kind of have blackmail over them to then use that power because they have influence to get them to do what they want.
So how do you think it initially worked? Like Epstein is this billionaire guy who's connected. Oh, why don't you come down to this billionaire guy's island?
I think Ghislaine. I think Ghislaine Maxwell. I hear that she was actually connected to other powerful people that empowered Epstein. Like Epstein was under her, really. And then they kind of shaped it as he was the top guy. It's all over now. Like, don't worry about it. When in reality, it's like, she was the one.
Because her dad was a huge newspaper magnate guy in England. He was about to.
Her sister's huge and something.
He was about to buy the New York Post instead of Rupert Murdoch in like the 80s or something like that. So like this is a point in time where that family was extremely successful, and I think that like you were saying, putting people who are in big positions in compromising places. I think a situation like typically would be like, oh yeah, well this guy Epstein has a great island, come down.
Right.
They're hot girls. They're like, oh wow, I'm surrounded by 25 hot girls.
Yeah.
Little do I know, all these girls are underage.
Sure. Yeah.
And little do I know, maybe there's cameras all over the place.
Right.
So it's like definitely,
Right.
putting them in a position where yes, you're on the private jet log.
Yes.
Multiple times.
I believe, like, I can't say I 100% believe in, like, but like, I have a fairly strong belief, like, in that, like, part of the conspiracy, like that stuff going on. And there's probably a ton of people that we see as good, famous celebrities that probably were caught up in that to some degree, whether they enjoyed it or not. That's one thing. But
or
like,
whether they came out innocent enough, but like they can't even tell people.
Sure.
Like they took the plane down there and like they already look guilty.
Right. So I do believe in that. But then once you start getting into like Michelle Obama's man, Obama's, they believe that Obama's like Indonesian instead of black, like just wild stuff. That's
are they openly
me.
racist in that QAnon documentary?
They don't. No, not really. They don't like really get into. I don't think they like Jews, but they don't really get into like anti, people of color stuff like that. It's more just like about power structures and all that. But it was funny. I like got into it. I didn't know it was them, right? And then 10 minutes in,
you didn't know it was produced by them.
Yeah. I didn't know it was produced by QAnon. And then they hit me with like what if we told you Bill Gates is a woman? And I go, this seems pretty QAnon
like,
here.
I'm listening. Yeah. 2 minutes later, I saw you followed this journalist, CoffeeZilla. You ever hear of this guy on YouTube?
No.
Puts together a ton of journalism stories. He's in the middle of exposing Logan Paul's crypto scam.
Okay.
It's like a 3-part crypto scam. He was talking about Bill Gates' connection with Epstein Island, just how crazy it is. And like his journalism is amazing. Anyone who wants to see like documentary that has a lot of facts straight to the point, check him out, CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
But just in general, man, once you start digging through the powerful people, man, sometimes you're not gonna like what you find when you dig it up, dude.
No, I mean, yeah, it's the money thing, man. I think about, I wouldn't be going to private islands with 16-year-olds if I had a lot of money, but
dude,
I might be a nightmare, man, if I have a lot of money.
But bro, that's the thing. Like at that particular time, it would seem unexpected. If like one of your boys was like, "Yo, this guy Epstein has a sick island. He's gonna fire up the jet. Hot chicks, we're going." If that's all you knew, like verbatim, like if that's all I knew, like this guy Epstein manages billions of dollars. This woman who I know, whose father's a paper magnate,
right?
They're hot chicks on this island. He's gonna fly me down. Like I'm going.
Yeah.
If it's looking back on it now,
if it's that innocent, sure.
But don't you think that's how it was? Yes, I do.
You believe it was? I think
for a good amount of people, yes, that went down there. 100%.
No, for sure.
Like the Oprahs, the Jim Carreys.
Okay. Well, all right.
That to me seems innocent.
So I think like when you see like Chrissy Teigen on there, like a no name.
Who's on there?
She's on the flight log. So she always gets trolled whenever she goes on like Instagram Live or stuff.
She's had like a bad couple of years.
Yeah. So it's like
a bitch. Dude.
Yeah. So everybody just trolls her with that. So it's like I think a girl like that probably had no fucking idea. She's like not important.
Did she go with her husband? But I think
John
Legend though.
I think he might have been on there too.
Okay. What were you gonna say?
I think the important people. I think just through like because they have so much knowledge and like insider info on this kind of a thing. I think some of them probably knew what was going on.
Well, like Rogan was talking about how some guy told him like even 10 years before the first time he was like brought to trial in like 2008, like right before he spent a year and a half, that he had heard about this type of place. I don't know whether it was like, yes, there are underage girls there doing bad things, but like he knew that like there was this island that people didn't know much about. A lot of celebrities went. A lot of beautiful females hung out there.
Yeah, man.
It's crazy. Especially seeing Trump there, dude.
Yeah. There's that. And then also like the fact that like allegedly there's these underground tunnels on the island.
Yes.
And
so what was QAnon talking about with that?
Oh, it was too much. It was really too much for me to like remember.
Because like it went from LA to the island, I think, or something like that.
Right. No, it's like the Denver airport and stuff. Have you heard the conspiracy theories about the Denver airport? All right, look into that.
No. Give us a little bit.
So apparently the Denver airport, it came in like I'm pretty sure hundreds of millions of dollars over budget, and apparently they built like these huge underground tunnels in the Denver airport that go to all sorts of places that we just, don't know about or it's like it hasn't been explored. There's also some weird satanic stuff there. Like there's this big statue. I forget the animal, but it's an animal with horns. And the guy building the statue, the artist building the statue, while he was building it, died because one of the horns fell off and impaled him. But then they finished the statue, and apparently it has these like red eyes. It's just a very creepy thing.
Do we have a picture of it?
It's got to be online.
Pop it up.
Yeah,
What's it called?
It'll pop up. It's the Denver International Airport. I think just look up statue. Yeah,
here it is.
Yeah.
The fuck. So when this guy was building it, one of his horns just fell off and impaled him.
Yep.
This is a conspiracy theory, right?
Well, I think the impale thing is confirmed. That did happen. But
he was making a devil?
The huge underground. No, he was making an animal, but like it has these like red eyes. Like it's a very creepy sight. Once you pull it up, everybody will see.
Yeah,
like
I don't understand the satanic shit, man.
Yeah.
It's just scary on all fronts. Like, why do people even fuck with that?
I mean, look at the Balenciaga stuff,
Yeah, what the hell? I don't get it.
Yeah, man.
Is it like trying to be trendy and like weird and cool in like a darker, smaller circle? I just don't understand stuff like that.
I don't either. It's just
and it makes these conspiracy theories
I know, man,
seem more real.
But it's horrible because this is what happened. It's like I'm scrolling TikTok. These conspiracy theories are all just flooding me.
Is playing.
Yeah,
the scary music.
That one, and there's also a big California Dreamin' plays. I can't sing, so it's like California. No, I don't. I can't do it. It's not going to do it.
Such a winner's day. That one?
No,
that's like a happy song.
Okay, no, it's a little more.
About some of those like
it's a little more psychedelic
instrumentals. Okay.
Yeah. But no, that stuff, it just floods my feed right before I go to sleep, and it's keeping me up. And here's the problem with these conspiracy theories: is like you start to get into it, right? And you're like, oh my god, everyone's a pedophile. This world is messed up. And then I need to drop everything I'm doing and let everybody know about this. And then you like take a deep breath. You go, who really gives a shit? Like, what am I going to do? So you're just like, it's fine. I don't know.
Damn. All right, so on a lighter note.
Yeah. No, we started off dark.
We've been all over the place, bro.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your experience in New York, and you're going to be here for the rest of your life, bro. Are you doing any traveling for comedy at all?
I've been on the road a decent amount. I mean, like Matt and I were in San Francisco and LA in the spring this year. I was in DC a couple weekends ago. It's good to get on the road. I hear people who are headlining a lot, but like headlining B clubs, like the not so great clubs. I hear it gets like really lonely and kind of sucks. But for me, it's still like a novelty at this point. So like anytime I'm on the road, I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is a blast.
Well, I think in general, once you are able to start maybe like bringing your friends on the road or maybe bringing like a companion, that's always when it gets fun. But yeah, right. Like you're saying, like when you're doing the B clubs and stuff, sometimes it just is not in the budget to bring somebody for like an extra $250 or whatever.
No, for sure. So, no, man, the road's been fun. In terms of me just being in New York forever, like I fantasize about like moving out to the country and like living that lifestyle.
Some stuff.
Yeah, sure, but I'm not cut out for that at all.
Your family's still in Brooklyn?
Yeah, they're over. Yeah, but yeah, so I fantasize about getting out all the time, but I know like I'm meant to be here, and like it's the only place I could really be. So I'll probably be here. I would think so, but who knows? How about you?
Dude, for sure. I mean, anytime that I'm out of the city for more than 4 nights, I'm like, God, get me back. Doesn't even matter.
Where are you from? Are you from here?
I was born in New Brunswick, New Jersey, spent 6 weeks out in Princeton, New Jersey, and then both my parents got jobs here in Manhattan.
Okay.
Went to UConn for 4 years, and then I've been here ever since.
Right. You had to get out of Jersey. Sopranos comes out. It's just everyone's personality over there.
Dude, and so my mom worked, do you remember that company, Bubblicious, the gum?
Yeah.
Okay, so my mom worked for Bubblicious at advertising, which was in the Lipstick Building, which is the same building as Bernie Madoff's big Ponzi scheme.
Oh, nice.
That's why that building is very famous. Like 53rd and Lex. People don't know that, I don't think, but the Lipstick Building, very famous building.
Yeah.
So yeah, bro, I've been here ever since. Worked in my dad's company for a number of years, and then just started doing this full time, within the last few years, bro.
Yeah, man.
And we're enjoying it, dude.
Your show's at a new venue now, right?
Yeah, so we do we're doing it at the Stand this Saturday, which we got to get you on a show.
Yeah.
And then it seems like we're gonna start to do a monthly, maybe every other week at Moxie Hotel on the Lower East Side.
Hell yeah,
just
dude.
dope. They're great. But yeah, just in general, putting on shows wherever, because I think any place is just yearning for comedy, even if they don't know it. Like a quiet Thursday night at a bar. Bar owners just need to give a comic, whatever, $100, and
hey man,
they'll throw a show. The bar will make $1,000. Dude, it's a no-brainer, bro.
I feel that. I find myself ever since I started producing shows, any bar I go to, I'm always like, how would a show work out here? I'm like scouting out the logistics and stuff.
That's like how it happened with the Moxie Hotel. I walked by in Chelsea. I walked into the hotel. I was like, do they do any shows here? They definitely do some events. Yeah. So I reach out to the event coordinator. She's like, we're opening this hotel Lower East Side. Right. It's like, what, you guys want to do a comedy show there? Any hotel operators, any bar operators who are looking to make significantly more money on any given night, I'd say. It's a comedy show, and comedy's getting super hot, man.
Yeah, man.
Hotter than it ever has been, in my opinion.
So many comics, I mean, I just hear stories of
many, bro.
How few there were in the 90s or whatever, and now it's just too many.
And it also feels like, I do feel like a good camaraderie around the comics too. You go to a place like the Stand, you'll see 20 comics that all super friendly. And then that's also how, I connect with people here on the couch like you, right? And we'll do the comedy show, something like that. But I think in general, it's been a fun ride. How about you? Have you been having a good time?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's always ups and downs, but I wake up, I guess there's been some weeks where, let's say I've been sick, or it's a slow week with spots or whatever, and nothing's really going on. And I just live a kind of a normal life. And I'm like, what would I do if I wasn't doing this? So, I think, I mean, for that reason alone, as it being a reason to get out of bed in the morning is
love that,
good.
Bro. You gotta freaking love what you're doing, rolling out of bed.
For sure, man.
Dude, for so many freaking years, I would roll out of bed and or not even freaking get out of bed, dude. I'd roll to the other side of the bed and be like, fuck, I don't want to deal with this coworker today.
Right.
Which is just so nonsensical. Obviously I was working, in my dad's company, so it made sense for me to care about it. Theoretically, 15 years down the line, it would be my company. But why did I give so much of a shit? Yeah, something that wasn't even mine. Hate to tell the employees out there, but if you freaking get fired, you'll be replaced tomorrow.
Sure. No, the ownership thing,
something like that.
The ownership thing is the biggest thing.
It's huge.
Yeah.
When's the next Prohibition show?
This upcoming Thursday, December 29th. December 29th, and then January 5th at the Comedy Shop. Yep. So when's your next one?
We have one this Saturday. As you guys are listening to this, it is freaking Monday. So we had it on Saturday, bro. I hope it went well. Christmas Eve. Everybody just had an amazing Christmas.
Oh, that's gonna be fun.
Where are you celebrating Christmas?
Just small with my family in Brooklyn. Yeah, nothing crazy.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice, man. So Kevin, before we get out of here, bro, we're gonna pop up your Instagram, shout it out so we can follow you and stay up to date, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's your Instagram?
Oh, I'm plugging it right now. I thought it was just gonna pop up.
We'll pop up, but you gotta let us know.
It's popping up.
For the people who can't see.
You can follow me at Kevin McGloin. It's last name's McGloin. I got 2 N's on my Instagram handle because some fucking kid in Ireland has my real one.
We might have to buy that back from him at one point.
Yeah, we might. It might take just a little bit of Guinness, but yeah.
Kevin, thanks so much for coming on the podcast. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time. Peace.